Hey guys, hey, it's Morgan. I'm back. I wanted to do a little update video. This one is just gonna be about like life update, bump update, baby update. I haven't done a video in so long and I'm so sorry they left you hanging. Like I've been getting crazy comments like and even messages like wondering if I'm actually still pregnant because you know there's a higher risk with my age. So yes, I am still pregnant and I'm actually 24 weeks pregnant tomorrow. So we are on week 24 and it's been a while since I did a video and I'm so bad at this, you guys. Like I'm so bad at, I'm not so bad at it. I'm just gonna say that like this isn't like a real, like my real life is not like here. Like I have so many things going on and like I just take it easy and I go with the flow and like I come on when I can, you know what I mean? Like I don't feel like pressure. I should come on more often. Like I have fun doing these videos and like I get a lot of good responses and like hopefully I'm helpful. So in this video I'm just going to give you like a basic life update because like things have been moving really fast in the last like 12 weeks. And I'm just gonna give you updates on what's been going on with baby, and I am gonna tell you the gender. I'm gonna tell you our name choices that we're going over. I'm not gonna like gatekeep them. I know a lot of people do and like to wait till last minute, and I probably won't tell people like in my social life, you know, but on here I'm just gonna tell it. Like it's a tell all over here. So we actually did have some scary news at 12 weeks, which is honestly like, yes, I'm busy and yes, things have been crazy, but we did get some scary news. And I'm gonna do a separate video entirely on that because I think it's deserving of a separate video and for a few different reasons. Like I don't want to cloud the joy of my pregnancy with that stuff, you know? And also another thing too is if you see the background I'm in, it's totally different and there's no furniture. And the reason why is because we've moved. Literally 2024 has literally been the year of things that happening that I never thought could happen. We moved and we've moved in, but we haven't moved in intentionally because we're getting the floors done. And there's like so many like small little projects I want to do over here, but nothing that has to be done immediately. And I'm gonna get into all that in a minute. So that all happened. Yeah, so let's get right into it. So I think last time I did my video, I might have been 8 or 10 weeks. We did not know gender. We did not know anything. I was getting ready to do the Nipt test. And if you don't know, Nipt is the non-invasive PT prenatal testing. So they just do a blood draw, and in today's day and age, they can do a blood draw and they can find out so much information about your baby. They test for gender. They test for T21, which is trisomy 21, which is Down syndrome. They test for T13 and T18, which are two common chromosomal disorders. And then they also have this like litany of things they test for. There's like this list, but I don't really know. It's like basically like trisomy is like different things. They do have like an extra list of things they can test for, but the main three are 13, 18, 21, then there's like trisomy, and then there's gender. And so that happened. And honestly, I don't think I'm special on this, but I don't think people really understand the implications of the Nipt test. I'm gonna do a whole separate video on that one, but if you want to hear about that, but I'm going to try to keep this compartmentalized and stuff. So I did the Nipt test. We did get scary test results back, which is kind of what caused this delay, because I guess you just think that you're going to get like completely positive results and like everything is going to go fine. Like it's kind of like when you're a smoker and like, you know that, you know, like you could get cancer from smoking. Like, so when you're 44 and you're pregnant, you know, there could be chromosomal issues with your baby because you're older. Like, so you know this, like you're not dumb, but if it happens, it is so jarring. It is just literally like this life altering, like shocking thing. And like, it's so hard to put into words, like the emotions, but it is literally like a life altering thing. So that happened, and I'm gonna get into all that. in a different video. But basically, we had basically 2 weeks of crying. We knew the gender, but we didn't know it was in the results, and we had my brother find out, and like it was so traumatizing that like I didn't even want to know the gender. And it just got, I cried for like 2 weeks straight. It didn't do nothing but cry. Like I just couldn't, it took me a minute to process. It was all part of it. It's like a grieving to it, there's a process to it. And just to be clear, like we, honestly, we were basically told there was a risk or a high risk of something, but since then we've done a lot of testing. None of it is diagnostic. There is an optional test called an amniocentesis that we chose not to do it for a few reasons, and I'll get into that. But we chose not to do the amnio. Reason why, we talked to 2 women who had bad experiences. We just happened to know them, and it's totally anecdotal, because when you ask the doctor, like, if we do the amnio, we'll know for sure if the baby has a chromosomal abnormality or something is wrong with the baby, with his chromosomes, or something is like, you know, I don't want to say wrong, but if something is not, you know, normal or typical with his chromosomes. And we met 2 people who did the amnio, and they went into immediate labor, miscarried, however you want to say it. And it was just really weird that we ran into 2 women who both had bad experiences with their amnio causing miscarriage. So they tell you like you have 1 in 900 chance of like something going wrong with the amnio and it causing a miscarriage. But then also there were studies that I read about that said 1 in 200, which to me is like, that's too high for me. Like I'm not risking it. And then knowing 2 people personally who it's happened to, you know? So we just opted not to do the amnio and proceed forward as if there could be something wrong, but we don't know. So basically that's where we're at. So it's crazy. It really is crazy. But I took time and just processed it and allowed everything to happen. And I've been going to all the appointments, and regardless if there is a chromosomal issue or not, the baby is very healthy, like that we know of. Like any ultrasound that we've had, anatomy scans, we did the 12-week anatomy scan with our OB, just ultrasound. There are certain markers that can happen that can tell you if something's wrong. So one of them is the nuchal translucency test. There is a right on the back of the neck, and you can look it up. It's called NT and NT scan, and they measure the translucency. They measure the little fluid that sits on the back of their neck, and that's how you can like tell certain markers, certain red flags, if you will. And ours, anything over a 3 is a little sus, and anything over 3.5 is an indication that something could be wrong. And ours was 1.6. Also, sometimes there won't be a nasal bone, or there will be a really weak nasal bone. Our baby had a nasal bone, so there was like no indicators. And then since then we have gone to a that was the 12-week anatomy scan. We went to an 18-week anatomy scan with a maternal fetal medicine doctor, which is it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours long. It's very intense. They're looking at the heart, they're looking at all the organs, they're looking at your placenta, your umbilical cord, everything. And then I did it again at 23 weeks. So just last Monday, I did my second anatomy scan. Now they call it anatomy scan, but if you do research back in the day, they called it an anomaly scan. So really what they're looking for, I think they just changed the name to make it sound a little more, you know, PC, like a little more gentle. But it actually really, when you think about it, it is an anomaly scan, because they're hunting for any anomalies. So they're looking at the kidneys in depth, they're looking at the heart in depth, they're looking for anything that could be wrong with the baby. And at the one I got last week, they absolutely could not find anything wrong with the baby. And the baby looked great. So what they have me scheduled for now, in a couple of days, I will be going to a pediatric cardiologist, and they're basically like, well, how my doctor worded it, because I had an appointment today with my regular OB. He said they're not a jack of all trades, they're like a master of one thing, which is pediatric heart cardiology. They do ultrasounds. and they will look for any kind of minute little defects that could potentially be a marker that there could be something wrong with the baby, or just let us know if there's anything like the plumbing of the heart. Because sometimes I guess what can happen is the baby can be fine in utero, but it won't be compatible outside. But ours is good. Ours is looking great. So there's no issues so far. So, but the thing is that sometimes if you have a baby with Down syndrome, there will be no signs. There have been a lot of people who've had a baby that it appears to be completely normal. All the anatomy is there. All of the things are checking off like completely healthy. And it's a surprise when you give birth. So we kind of know where we're at. So, and I've processed it. So these are basically the appointments we've been through. A lot of appointments, but I'm not mad about that because it makes me feel like they're just double checking, and like I'm that kind of person who wants to make sure the baby is gonna have like the best care ever and like have the best start in life and like be cared for, and no matter what, like we want to make sure that they have like a good, real like foundation, you know what I mean? Like no matter what, like if they're basically moving forward like there's something wrong, but when they're checking there's nothing. And like I pray every day for like the health of my baby and stuff like that. So I'm just hoping everything is good. So those are all the appointments I've been on. I want to show you a picture. I'm going to tell you the gender, and I'm going to tell you a list of names we like. And he is so cute. Like I know I'm biased obviously, but like his little stinking face is so cute. I'm going to try to show you one here, but pretty good pictures. And yeah, he looks so cute. They did detect two things, but I don't think they're abnormal at all. Basically, they did find out that like most umbilical cords have 3 vessels. 2 are, I forget, I'm not gonna even say it because I forget, but there's usually 3, and like 2 are like, oh God, there's like 2 that bring stuff in and 1 brings stuff out, or vice versa. So there's like usually 3 is normal, and ours is just 2 vessels. Ours just has 2 tubes, right? And when I asked, is this a sign of a chromosomal abnormality? Is this telling me that something is wrong with my baby? They said no. They said a lot of times it happens with multiples, like twins or triplets, and also with age. They don't really know why, but like we just have 2. But the thing is, it's like very healthy. The placenta is very healthy, so there's no anything. And the other thing is there's a little bit of fluid on the baby's kidneys, which means they're like, they urinate in there. So they drink liquids, they urinate out. So like, this thing is normal. Like, other people I've talked to, their baby had it and they were totally fine. So it's not really a marker. It's nothing they don't expect. It's like, it's totally fine. So those are 2 things they did find, which were interesting, but, it's weird because I felt like, for some reason I thought like if something is wrong, there will be signs, but there's like no signs. And there's like, I felt okay moving forward without the amnio because like I said, I didn't want to risk the amnio, and my thought process at the time was like, there will be signs, like I will know, but like I honestly don't know, and it's kind of like kills you to not know in a way, but like it is what it is. What I will say is this: 44 and pregnant, like I feel great. I feel baby a lot, and I will just tell you right now, like he is a boy. I've said he several times because I can't help it, but it is a boy, which is what we wanted. Like we obviously would be totally happy with a girl, but we always wanted a boy, and I feel like I'm just like destined to be a boy mom. So we're really happy it's a boy. I'm not gonna tell you exactly what his name is, but I will tell you we have a short list of faves, and I will tell you all those. Basically, one of them is Maverick, which is my favorite, not my husband's favorite, but I really like Maverick. I just really like it. I like that it's like a complete full long Maverick. Like I just like it, and it has a lot of personality, I think. So this is decaf, don't worry. I just needed some pumpkin spice in my life because pumpkin spice season. It's what's today? Today is September 3rd is today. So what else? So Maverick is like my fave. Like I love Maverick. If it was up to me, I would just name him Maverick, but no. And then our second name we have on our list is Josiah. And I really like Josiah. My father's name is Joseph and my brother's name is Joseph. So it's kind of a name to honor my family. And then it also, Josiah kind of rhymes with Amaya, which I don't love the rhyminess, but it kind of goes. And I like the nickname Sai or Saya. And we had baby names picked out forever for boys. And basically our baby names were gonna be, our first one, if it was a boy, was gonna be Josiah John Edward Whitfield, because John Edward is my husband's father's name, and Josiah John Edward. And the second boy, if we had one, was gonna be Jeremiah. Jeremiah, because if you mix the names Jermaine, which is my husband's name, and my stepdaughter, his daughter's name, Amaya, it's Jeremiah. So we were gonna do Morgan, Jermaine, Amaya, and Jeremiah. And also there would be a Josiah, because Josiah was gonna be our first son. So we had the name Jeremiah, and we were gonna use Joseph Henry as his middle names because my father is Joseph Henry. So, and also like I like Edward and Henry because King Edward and King Henry, and I love like British history and I love like all the royalty stuff. So I was like, Josiah John Edward and Jeremiah Joseph Henry, like perfect, you know? And also another thing too is like my family, we have a tradition of 2 middle names. So I'm Morgan Phoebe Carey, and my maiden name was Lewis. But I want to keep the 4 names. Like that's something that's important to me. And then if we did do Josiah and Jeremiah, I'm not sure if Amaya, Josiah, and Jeremiah, it's a lot. And then we're having 1 boy, we probably won't have another boy. We are planning on going to get my daughter embryo after the baby is born, after our boy. Our timeline is basically, our due date is Christmas Day. And then we want to wait until like July. If we get clear and everything is good, we're gonna go do a transfer in July for our daughter. And if we did Maverick as the baby boy's name, I really like the name Marquesa for a girl and call her Marquis. I have a cousin named Marquis who's just a great guy. And so I was gonna do Maverick and Marquesa or Maverick and Margot, because I really like Margot with an AUX at the end. And I don't have to do matchy-matchy, but I think that's cute. And then if we do Josiah and Jeremiah, I have no girl names with a J that I like. Like there's none on my list that I like. I do like the name Joliet, like Joliette, but more like a middle name because my sister is Jolene, but I like Juliet. It's like Juliet, but Juliet, which is a French word. And I was thinking about using it for a middle name for a girl in honor of my sister. Our next boy name that we really like is Cairo. I think it's really cute. My husband has this weird thing where he says things like, that name is very white. It's not mixed sounding. And I just don't think names can sound black or white, but he does. So he likes Cairo better than Josiah. I think I like Josiah better than Cairo. Just saying it, like the way it feels, like the texture of it in your mouth, you know, like Cairo is cute. I like Cairo. Like it's definitely in the top 3 or so. And then obviously one of our other ones is Jeremiah, so we could just go with Jeremiah. I always told Amaya, if you have a little boy, make sure you name him Jeremiah after you and your dad. So maybe she'll use it, maybe we'll use it as a middle name, I don't really know. We're gonna do any combo of these. So it'll be Josiah Maverick, Maverick Josiah, Cairo Maverick, Cairo Jeremiah, I don't know. And then we have a couple more. The next one we really like, and one thing we've been discussing is like, I definitely want 2 middle names, but my husband has made it clear that he's not really in love with John Edward for a middle name, nor is he in love with Joseph Henry, because he is not from a family that believes in like regurgitating or reusing or recycling names. Even in memory or honor, I don't know, in our family we always reuse names because it's like in honor, and I'm named after my 2 grandmothers, and I love that. Like I just feel like there's literally a part of them with me. So he doesn't care about using John or Edward. He doesn't like either of those names. And my husband's name is Jermaine, and he hates his name and he doesn't want to use it. So I came up with the name, I didn't come up with it, but I found it. And it's on my list. It's Dream, but it's spelled like J-R-E-A-M. And basically, if you take the first 5 letters of my husband's name and you mix them around, it spells dream. And also he's like our little dream come true. So I was like, perfect. And so Dream, I mean, maybe as a first name, maybe as a middle name, I don't know. But the other thing is like, it's been on my list that my cousin used it as a middle name. But I've only met her one time. She's like a distant cousin. So I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can use it. One of my friends said, Dream, that's very ethnic. And I was like, I don't know. I just think it's a cute name. And then, what else? Oh, Romeo is on our list, and I really think that's so cute. The only thing wrong with it, my husband loves it. Only thing is my mother hates the name Romeo, and she doesn't want a Romeo, so we will see. And then also another thing too, the reason I like Cairo is because I told my husband if we name our son Cairo, then we have to name our daughter Cleo, as in Cleopatra. So we'll just have a little Cleopatra, Queen Cleopatra and King Cairo running around. So I think that's so adorable, and I really like the name Cleo. I like Chloe. I kind of do want a little matching set. I don't know. I'm all about the two, but yeah. So that's where we are. So I talked about our appointments. Everything is going good. I feel great. I will say I nap a lot more. Like I definitely nap a lot more. Sometimes I need to put my feet up a little more. My feet can get swollen a little bit, just a little bit though. But I notice it because I used to never have swollen feet really, unless I was like driving from like Atlanta to Maine, and then yeah. But overall, like there's no issues with like anything. I've had very little morning sickness the entire time. I will say that I experience pregnancy and the movements as motion sickness more so than anything. Like if the baby's really rolling around and I just ate, like I'm more likely to feel like I have motion sickness. I'm experiencing it as a motion feeling, like a motion sickness sensation. I got car sick my whole life as a kid, like very intensely. If I watch a movie that's way too moving and stuff, I get motion sickness from movies. So I'm experiencing some nausea, but in the form of motion sickness, which is probably weird. I do sleep more. I do have moments when I'm like, I need a nap right now. I'm done. I'm laying down. Like I just fall out. I do a lot less housework and stuff, and like I'm gonna use that to segue into the move. The reason we moved is because, and we're not all the way moved in, obviously, because it's empty in here and it's very echoey, but this just happened like the last 2-3 weeks we've been moving. So basically, we have more than one house. We had one house that was about 2,600 square feet, and it's on an acre, huge, beautiful acre, huge, beautiful lot, all the way fenced in, all the way around. Big, huge junior Olympic pool. It's like 100 feet long by 50 feet wide, giant. And then it has 2 apartments. There's a pool house with 2 separate apartments. The downstairs is like a studio, like a hotel, think hotel, full bathroom. And then the upstairs is a 1-bedroom with a full bathroom and a full kitchen. So we always wanted to live in that property. It also has a 4-car garage. Perfect. We always wanted to live in that property. We bought it to live in it, but what happened was my husband's parents passed away, and so he bought their house, and we didn't have to pay much to get the house. He didn't get it for free, but we got a really good deal on it because it was like partially inherited. And then we spent the last 2 years renovating that house, because that house is about 1,400 square feet. So about 1,000 square feet less than the other one. It was a big downgrade in size, because our other house in Georgia was like over 3,000 square feet. And like it was so small, like we downsized so much, but even like moving in, like we still had to downsize. Like we literally couldn't fit furniture unless it was like very like low profile, like very streamlined, very basic, and like there was no room for furniture. It was a 3-bedroom, like I said, 1,400 square feet, 2-car garage, nice yard. We put so much work into this house. Like we brought it back from like disaster. Like it was a disaster. We brought it back and did a ton of work. And I worked very hard on this house for 2 years, renovating it. And I renovated it for our forever home, because it was my husband's parents' home. I literally said, I'm never moving again. I'm gonna die in this house. And no, like it wasn't even my choice. Like I was fine with raising kids there, even though it would be a tight fit. My husband was basically the one who said like, we can't do this. We cannot complete this renovation while you're pregnant, and we cannot complete this renovation with baby. Another thing is like he even said if he was like 40 maybe, but he's 48, and he just felt like it was a great adventure while it happened. We didn't lose any money really. We put it on the market. Like honestly, it took us a while to really decide it. Like what really I think decided it was our tenants moved out end of June, last day of June, and we put it on the market for a rental property to find new tenants. The 2,600 square foot property, the bigger house, put it on the market for tenants, and we had a hurricane on the 9th. So on the 9th, when we had the hurricane, these properties are right across the street from each other. When we had a hurricane, the bigger house that we were not living in, that we usually keep tenants in, it was vacant, and it has a whole home Generac, which is great. It's like $25,000 equipment that like it's a generator for the whole house, and it connects the pool and the apartments. And so we came over and camped out like on an air mattress and stuff, just so we could have electricity and air conditioning because it's hot in Houston. And that happened on July 9th. And so we were over here July 9th for, you know, for a few, 3-4 days, maybe a week, while we didn't have electricity. And then, like I said, it was just camping. It was like just food and, you know, air mattress and just camping out, you know, making it work with our pets because it was hot. And then what happened was we moved back over to our house. Like it's not a full move, right? We're just camping. So go back over to our house, and it just got my husband thinking. And he was like, you know, there's so many things over here that are already done. It already has the pool, it already has the back patio, it already has everything it needs. If we stayed over at the other thing too, this house, the 2,600 square foot house, has wonderful windows and the best insulation. Like it's always 10 degrees cooler in here with no AC versus over there. And so we lived here a little while longer. We had to make it work with no tenants. Another thing that happened was the tenants, they weren't dirty people, they weren't bad people, but they had 2 big dogs, which when we were renting it out, a lot of people who want this big of a property had a lot of kids. And the first time we rented it out, we had a huge family, like maybe 8 kids or something. Makes sense, big house, you know, outside apartments like that. So it was kind of like, do we want to rent to somebody with a lot of kids again, or this couple that had 1 kid but 2 big dogs? And they seemed like pretty responsible pet owners, but dogs are just very destructive. And I don't know if they were nose blind to it, but their bedrooms are carpeted here. So after the hurricane and being over here, like we got some really bad feedback when they were doing showings of the house. There was some written, there was a lot of oral, like it was just like they were nose blind to it. And like when we came over to do the initial like inspection upon their vacating, there was a lot of air fresheners and they had the windows open. And like I understand why now, because once we turned off the AC and shut the windows and left it, and they only came over here, the realtor came over here for showings, it reeked. Like it was just pungent. And I don't know if if you keep the AC on really high, you don't smell it as bad, but it was strong. And so and there were some other damages too. There were some the dogs were big and they would jump up high, and they had so much weight to them, they would dig into like wood doors and wood cabinets, and the front door is really big and heavy in wood. Also, they scratched the glass up, like, so kind of going through it with that, had to make some tough choices. So that happened. We kind of realized that after Hurricane Beryl, being over here more and smelling it. And also the feedback was like, yeah, there's an issue here. It was my husband who made the decision to move over here and decided that we would, one of the reasons we haven't moved furniture in here is because we're gonna get the floors completely done. I'm gonna change out, we're gonna have it just professionally installed. This is very old and dated. We're gonna have the floors completely done. My husband and I are gonna redo the trim work on it. We think that will really upgrade it. The kitchen is nice here. It's not my kitchen though that I designed next door, so that sucks because I don't have my beautiful $900 sink. Like I have to let go. It's very hard for me to let go because I really love that sink. I dreamed about, you know, bathing my baby in that sink, and it's just not gonna happen. So over here, I can't fit a 36-inch or 33-inch farmhouse apron front sink. I have to do undervented, but it'll be fine. But anyways, this video is getting a little long. Baby is healthy. I am healthy. If anybody's watching this who's in their mid 40s or whatever, you can do pregnancy. It's not that bad. Like mine, I guess it differs for every single person, but I am 24 weeks, meaning I am 5.5 months. In 2 weeks, I'll be 6 months, and I feel very healthy. My blood pressure is good. My sugars are good. There's no issues with baby. There's no issues with me. Just normal pregnancy, and everything is great. And I'm very, very grateful for a healthy baby. I am going to do another video about the Nipt test and some implications on that and just all the things. So I'm going to get into a little more details. But for now, we're doing great, and I showed you the baby. He's so cute. I can't wait to meet him, and we're narrowing down the name, and I give you my name list. So yeah, that's where we're at. Okay, guys, bye.